Now we talk about mindfulness on feelings. Mindfulness on feelings, two sets. Sometimes your feelings come with attachment. Sometimes it comes without attachment. You must know. So it is not just pleasant, unpleasant, and neither nor. It's not just that. It is whether those feelings have attachment or not. That is something you need to focus on, to be sharp about. Buddha said, you have, and you must know for yourself, there is attachment and it's pleasant. There is no attachment, it's pleasant. There is attachment, it's unpleasant. There's no attachment, it's not unpleasant. It's unpleasant. So the mind needs to know whether or not you have attachment. The clarity has to be there. Thus he dwells observing the phenomena arising in sensation. Thus he dwells observing phenomena passing away in sensations. The other thing is this. We have developed a very rich vocabulary to describe our feelings. Perish the habit. Buddha gave you 3 adjectives. They are so bland you cannot believe it. Pleasant, painful, neither pleasant nor painful. Why like this? When we have so rich a vocabulary to encapsulate our feelings, why like this, so bland? Because he doesn't want you to be so creative. The more creative you are, the more caught up you are with your feelings. He doesn't want you to be caught up. He wants you to see the feelings as they are. And they are either pleasant or unpleasant, or bo chap, No, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. It's bo chap lah, neutral, sometimes we call that. But the point is, he doesn't want you to be caught up. You give it any colorful description and you are going to be caught up. You will be a ball of feelings. He doesn't want you to be a ball of feelings. He wants you to be you, and feelings is there. Distance. When you give something a very objective name, without colorful, not colorful, just an objective bland term, right? Adjective. You are not going to be caught up in it. You understand? So, next time when you want to scold somebody, don't say, he's making me furious. My feelings are like needles poking me left, right, center. Don't. Just say unpleasant. This is unpleasant. Okay? Bland. Keep it neutral. Pleasant, unpleasant. Actually, it's painful, unpleasant. Unpleasant is painful. So it's actually pleasant or painful. They're neither pleasant nor painful. Okay. Mind understands the mind that has craving in it, and know when it has no craving in it. Understands properly the mind that has aversion as a mind that has aversion, and then knows, understands when it is free from it. Understand the mind with delusion as delusion, and understands when it is free from it. So the first thing is, when you look into the mind, you see a craving energy. You see craving, okay? If you see the presence of craving, you don't look at the craving, you look at the mind that is in a state of craving. Observing the mind in a state of craving. For many of us, when there is craving, we don't look at the craving, we may end up looking at pleasant or painful. Feeling ma? Craving is dukkha, right? It's unpleasant, it's painful. So we look at painful instead of looking craving as it is. The mind, knowing a mind that has craving in it, and a mind that doesn't have craving in it. Can you see how sharp this person is? To know to a point where he looks at it, he knows there isn't the presence of craving in the mind. That is what is required in this practice. Because you have to be able to recognize what is craving. You will say, but I know what's craving what. I crave all the time. You know craving doesn't mean you understand what it is. You feel it doesn't mean you know what's going on. To feel something is to experience it. To understand is to know the mechanics. I drive a car, I don't know how it works. I am living my mind, I don't know how my mind works. You see what I'm saying? It can happen. You may not understand the nature of the mind just because you experience the mind. They're not the same. Here, the word is understands properly what the mind with craving looks like. So you have to build a certain distance to an activity that's happening in the mind. You build a distance. How can you arrive at this level of distance? This is already the third object, the third foundation. Your first two foundation is where you practice really hard, practice. By now you can. That's how it happens. If you haven't done the form properly, you haven't learned to become detached towards your feelings, you can forget about trying to figure out the mind. It's very tough. But if you had done the form properly, you're really kilat, man, at looking at the breathing process. So distant. There's just breathing. Then activities, impermanence, so kilat, right? And then when it comes to feelings, no feelings, very detached. Pleasant, painful, no problem. So almost there. Now look at the mind, because this is important. Know a state of mind that has craving in it. And the other one is aversion. And you look at the mind, they're not the same. What does a mind with anger looks like? For you to find out. Chances are it's hard, it is heavy, and this is how you describe it. You look at the mind and you say it's hard, it's heavy, there's a lot of unpleasant sensations. That's it. That's all you say. Don't give it any more colorful terms. Black clouds. Seriously. Or when it comes to craving, what is it like? Scattered? Soft, mushy, whatever. You just look at it as it is. It's an energy. Delusion is a lot harder. But let me explain this slightly differently. All of you, this is not anyone. I'm assuming that everyone here has attended the previous classes, right? Oh, good, new one. Okay. Now, you all know Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Paths? Yeah, all of you know, Okay. You believe in it? Before Buddha, better say yes, lah. Okay, understand? So you all believe in it, right? You subscribe to it, right? You don't doubt it, right? How come you're all stuck here? Because even though we buy it, we bought it wholesale, we agree with it, but there's a part in us that still wants to enjoy life. Actually, we like the Four Noble Truth, Eightfold Path teaching because it promises freedom. It makes us happier. We become lighter. We don't feel dukkha so much. We like. But actually, there is a part in us that is still chasing after delight. Because the method, the teaching, promises salvation. And salvation in terms of my mind being happy unconditionally. Very nice, very nice. So what are we chasing after? Happiness. Still, nothing wrong with that. It's normal. Because I doubt anyone is chasing after unhappiness. Okay. What is the delusion here? The delusion is the belief that happiness is possible and permanent. once we feel happy, it's so nice if we can live forever like this, happy. There is always a sampling of it. Even for practitioner, why does someone end up as... And I was just reading a sutta yesterday, which is quite cute. Someone asked the Buddha, a noble disciple, when the person used the word noble disciple, it means at least a sotapanna, okay? And this person asked Buddha, he's a Sakyan, and he asked the Buddha, can a noble disciple be negligent? And the Buddha's reply was, yes. Delusion, ah. Why would a noble disciple be negligent? Because he is happy that he has absolute faith in Buddha. He is safe now. He only got 7 more lives to go. He happy already. Didn't want to work too hard. It can happen. So what does that mean? It means delusion. Isn't it delusion? That you have this knowledge, you can go all the way, but you pull back because you want to enjoy. And enjoyment, unfortunately, is a negligent habit. It's a delusional habit, our delusional habit. Okay? Okay, now, this is a meditation mind. Okay? A mind that holds together. This is the rupa vachara. The mind that is focused. It's a meditation mind. A mind in meditation. This is a mind that 1, 2, and 3 are all, these are all minds in meditation. Different states of meditation. Okay? And this is the only one that is realization, freed. A mind where the individual feels at liberty. This is the realized mind. Now, mindfulness on Dhamma. Up until here, we are looking at focusing the mind on, of your concentration on activities in the mind. And your awareness, your sati, getting sharper and sharper, getting so sharp that it can now see the mind as it is. By the time you look at mindfulness on chitta, right, you can see the mind as it is. Okay? Now that you can see the mind, are you then able to see Dhamma as it takes place? So you look at this thing. Nivaranas are hindrances. They are little habits or instincts that make it difficult for you to practice. The hindrances to a practice, to meditation. Nivarana of Chagga is sense desire. So you must know when there is the arising of sense desire is present. When there isn't sense desire, you understand properly that it is absent. And you must know how that has not yet arisen in you comes to arise, and understand properly how something which is there is removed. And you understand how it has been removed, it will no longer arise again. This is clarity on every aspect of the mind, down to a point when you see something arising, know why it comes out. When it dissipates, know how it dissipates, and then know for yourself it won't come out again. This is sharp clarity. This is a practitioner at the height of his practice. Okay? Down to this level, because right here at this point you are doing. Why is it mindfulness on Dhamma? It is because right at this point you are living. according to the practice. This is Dhamma. So you are very clear in the mind what are the kind of activities that arise and fades away, how did it come out, what triggered it, how did it fade, and it should fade. If you are sharp enough, good enough, whatever that arises, it shouldn't even come out, but if it comes out, it will fade very fast. And you know how it dissipates. And you also know when it will never come up again. Okay? And these are the kinds of things that you should be, as a practitioner, you should become aware of. Let me explain each one. This one, although it says 7 factors of enlightenment, wait, hang on. Let's start with Nivaranas. The Nivaranas is the first one. Meaning to say, you know for yourself what are the conditions that can trip you in the practice. Know for yourself when it's there. Know for yourself when it is not there. Know for yourself how it comes out. Know for yourself how they get eradicated. Know for yourself when it no longer will surface again. Okay? And the Nivaranas are, I will repeat for the benefit of those who didn't have the picture. Number 1, kama chandas, desire, sense desires. Number 2, aversion, ill will. Number 3, heavy forces, heavy energy, sloth and torpor. Number 4, fast spinning energy, restlessness and worry. Number 5, perplexity or doubt sometimes, but I prefer to use the word perplex, okay? 5 kinds of forces, energies that can trip your practice, you must know. What it means is this, suppose let's say you are practicing this mindfulness thing, and you're getting very frustrated because you're not making headway in seeing, for instance. You say, I'm not sure what am I supposed to be seeing, and I'm seeing nothing. And then you go, I'm very perplexed. I'm very agitated. That agitation is vichikicha, doubt, perplexity. Recognize the sensation. Know it has a reason. Know that it's present in you. Observe how it agitates. Then when it starts to fade away, know that it is fading away. When it fades away, faith will resume. The confidence that I know what I'm doing, I am very happy with the practice, that one will resume, will come up. How does it fade away? It fades away possibly when you reflect on the practice again, reflect on the Dhamma again, and then you tell yourself, faith is restored. Why? Because I read, I reflected, I understood. So knowledge helps to dissipate perplexity. You understand? You need to be aware of how it comes out and how it fades away, so that you will know what to do for yourself if it surfaces again. So that's Nivaranas. The next one is actually 5 aggregates. Okay? This is to see a mental activity in your mind as it happens, as they happen. So there is feeling, there is perception, there is consciousness, there is form. You just know it. It comes up, it's there. This is awareness of the moment. This is what's going on. And you call it by the 5 aggregates so that you don't get attached to them. How are you going to get attached to something called sanya? Perception. I perceive. You can get attached to the object. Sanya, perception, perceiving a car, my car. You can be attached to car. But if you say sanya, perception, labeling, this is a labeling process, then you are not going to be attached to the labeling. You are attached to the labeled, but not labeling. Okay? This is constantly pulling the mind away from being caught up in the object. Same thing for six sense bases. This is the next one. Six sense bases, when you see something, you actually say, see, object, consciousness, contact. Hear something, same thing. Hear, sound, contact. That's all. Not easy. But if you are a practitioner down to this level, it's not difficult. Because for you, right, everything is just contact, see, hear, taste, touch. This is just it. And you're aware of the moment of contact point. As you are reflecting like this, your mindfulness grows, right? This is where it comes in. Your mindfulness becomes so sharp, you constantly reflect on the Dhamma. There is this constant zeal in you that keeps going, keeps pushing. There's tranquility, there is piti, the joy that comes up, the sense of tranquility, the concentration deepens, the detachment grows, you are getting there. This is yours. And you know, as the factors of enlightenment arises in your mind, you must know. When you feel piti, when there's this joy in you, recognize it. Look at it. If you feel a sense of contentment and peace, recognize it, feel it, know that this is one of the factors of enlightenment. Why do you need all these things? Because your mind, we are like 2-year-old. We need to constantly pat ourselves. Knowing that you are experiencing the correct mental states helps you to keep going. It keeps you going. And then, finally, reflecting on the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Paths, especially the Four Noble Truths. Different levels of sharpness of Sati. I'm going to show you all three. You remember what I said earlier on, right? First stop. Please remember, this is important. You don't start from here and work backward. You must start from here and work forward. Okay? You cannot do this one and then try this one. Let me explain why. When you start from this point, what it means is you're vague, completely vague, everything vague. Like that, blur, like that. It's myopia of the first order. You cannot have myopia of the first order. You need to have clarity down to the microscopic level. It must be a microscope, okay? To be able to see and observe details. Because you need this skill before you can get to this point, and it is not that you can't see. You can, but now you don't have to see to that level. You start by being very sharp, very sharp. It's like think of it like this. If you play music, you play a musical instrument. You have to start by learning the scales, knowing the notes, understanding each note, what it means, how the beat, and so on and so forth. You need to know all the little details, right? And then it gets to a point when no need you take the notes, you just dump it away and you just play. Can you start by just playing and then work down to the level of knowing the details notes? Doesn't make sense. So this is actually equipping you with skill sets for you to understand things at a very deep level with such clarity. This is the end goal, actually. This is the end goal. This is a skill that has to be built. And then once your skill has been built correctly, and you have the correct understanding of why you're building the skill, then you are able to take this skill and observe features such as patterns and trends. It is a state of mind when you are beginning to be aware that in the object, there is a certain rhythm, a certain flow. That's how you spot anicca, dukkha, anatta. anatta here, not here. Okay? And then this is when you learn to let go. You can't get to here, you can't let go. They all work together. Okay? To be at this state, there is already a deep sense of peace, a deep sense of contentment. There is no, to be like this, you have no grasping. And this state is also important for you to realize that you can build a distance between yourself and the object that you're experiencing, that distance. Understanding this distance is a way of teaching the mind not to hold on to things too tightly. Okay? This is a summary of what I had explained. Finally. Not even finally. Almost finally. Sati done properly. In a zone. Sustained, effortless, equanimous, clearly comprehending. If the sati that you have developed is correct sati, right sati, it feels like you are in a kind of a zone. You know the zone, the clarity, the no need pushing here, there, anywhere, is just like that state of mind. It has to be sustained, meaning it continues without effort. You are somewhat detached, somewhat, but you know exactly what's going on. You don't even have to try very hard, you just know, you understand, okay? Having seen a form with the eye, a bhikkhu is neither joyful nor saddened, but he dwells equanimous, mindful, clearly comprehending, meaning this is a way of life. Okay? And I will recommend, for the first time, I'll recommend books. He is a wonderful writer, one of the best in explaining mindfulness. I had my first teacher who taught me mindfulness, this is his first book, okay? This is the first book. And this one, it's really for babies. I was a baby when I started out. It's so good, clearly articulated, well written, very easy to follow. If you can't follow this, you will need mindfulness in simpler English. K1. Nursery, okay. So this one is, I strongly recommend it. If you are interested in learning mindfulness properly, I strongly recommend this. Don't just go for this, so they're beyond there. Beyond. It's into the meditation and all, okay? It's an excellent book. I was reading it just 2 years ago, I think, or last year, I can't remember. But excellent book. Okay?